Hello, this is Godel. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions Remastered. Since last time, I have done not too much off camera. I did, as I said I was going to do, make a big ol' order of ritual stones when I got off for the evening. So, we go look at ritual stones. We are at 500, not 500, 312 of those, which hopefully will satisfy our ritual needs. That did take a while because our blood generation is rather slow, but we got there eventually. I also added some speedruns to our altar. Not that really the speed of crafting was our bottleneck, but the speedruns were just a recipe over here in the runic altar. And then I just tossed them on here and there. I added like 10 of them, so it makes the recipes a good bit faster. And I also, since we increased the capacity of our altar to 30,000, I went ahead and scaled up these recipes here to use up to 30,000 blood. So these are all going to be using up to 30,000 blood, and I changed our condition here. Previously, my threshold was set to 95%. I changed it to 99% just because the demonic slate was actually crafting so fast that it wasn't able to keep up with our generation at 95%, so I just had to make it 99% to actually have enough blood. And I feel like there's some kind of yeah, the altar's never quite at 100% for some reason, so I didn't put 100%, so that's why we're at 99%. But anywho, that was speedruns, that was ritual stones, and I also upgraded our Tartaric gems. This was just a easy, simple crafting recipe here, just threw these items in the Hellfire Forge. I upgraded both of our lesser gems into common gems. So now we have a common gem over here, and we have a common gem over here. And you probably just saw a preview of what we're doing today. I have made some demon crucibles. That's what we're going to be using today. Whoops. These crazy looking things. They actually look a little taller in the item than they do when I actually place them. Anyways, we're going to be using those to inject will into chunks, and then we are going to be crystallizing the will into various types of will. So in order to do this, we're going to let me look in my request book. Oh yeah, we need to make a demon crystallizer. This is not so much because we need it for the we need it for what we're going to be doing, but we actually just need it for this quest here, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and I mean, technically there's no rewards down here, so we don't really quote need it, but I'm going to make one anyways. I think I prepared the stuff in my inventory, right? Yeah, so here's our recipe. There, stone, Hellforge, and then we need, how much will? We need 500 will minus 100 to actually craft it. And we're at 500 here, so we should actually just be able to go ahead and throw this stuff in here and craft it up. Alright, there's our crystallizer. Mostly for the quest, we're not actually going to use this, and let me show you why. So normally, you'd have to use your crystallizer to get a crystal sample out of will, but the game has, or the quest has, not the quest book rewards have kind of simplified it for us once again. Let me put this hell shelf over here. That upgrades our enchanting capacity. So the game has simplified it in that instead of normally you need to get these physical crystals that you can plant and then they grow, the game has actually just gone ahead and been like, yo, quest reward, here you go, one of each. So it's like, okay, cool, we just need to make a void seed and then they're going to give us one of each of these. And a void seed is pretty easy to craft, actually. We have two different recipes. We can use this liquid nightmare recipe, or we could use this wheel recipe. So we're going to go ahead and use the wheel recipe. Our will in this gem is kind of low, so I'm going to put that back in our wheel injector here and get our charged one. And then let me go get all the stuff we're going to need. We're going to need a vidium crystal, I saw, so let me go over here and grab that. We do have... Whoop, I don't need to take a whole stack of them. We just need one for now. So void seed is what we're making. We need a wither ash, a block of quartz, and a thaumium. I don't have any thaumium over here. Great. Do we have thaumium over here? Probably, because old logistic pipe setup. Yeah. So here's a thaumium. The other stuff is not over here for sure, though. So that should be my last backtrack. Block of quartz, black quartz, and then wither ash with ash. Okay. And just go ahead and toss these in here. These should craft into our void seed. Yep, nice and easy. I think we need a block of quartz for something else. Block of black quartz is used for Mark of the Falling Tower, right? So we're gonna need a few of these. How do we get black quartz, like the gem? Is that just... Oh, put it in the furnace? Okay, so quartz. Let me just take half a stack of these guys and put it in our furnace manually. I don't think we're going to be needing too much. That's why I'm only taking a little bit, and that's why I'm taking it manually. I also finally got around to sorting my my memory cards for storage. So I kind of have like common use tools up here, and then I have kind of building slash construction slash less common use tools in my second bag, and then the third tab I have like combat and exploration stuff. So hopefully that makes it easier for me to kind of keep track of what's what, and I'm not constantly losing stuff. If I have less tools in one bag, it's going to be easier to see what I'm looking for. So we should have our void seed ready now. All right, there we go. Quest complete, void seed. Now I'm going to hold off on claiming these because I don't want to accidentally claim them and then put them somewhere that they don't belong. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave them in the quest book for now. Putting some other stuff away here that we no longer need. Ooh, I'd also like to make a finally get a remote thing for our what's it called here? For our AE system. So let's also work on that. Maybe I'll do that first. So that's going to reduce the amount of running around. So we want a wireless terminal. Specifically, I'll take a wireless crafting terminal. That's a little bit more versatile. So we just need a dense energy cell, which we have down here. I can just take one of those. I don't want to craft another one right now. Yeah, I'll just grab one of these guys. So we need a dense energy cell. Dense. Yes, dense. We need a wireless receiver. So quartz fiber we can make, but we don't know how to make this fluix pearl. So let's make fluix pearl really quick. That is just ender pearl dust, and oh, we need pure fluix crystal. Okay. I think we know how to make those though. So pure fluix. Oh, we do, but I remember this recipe having issues. Nope, it's fine. Okay. So this is fine, and this is a mixer for this. So let's go in our mixer. We're not going to make too many. I'll put it in our single mixer. So we're going to need... Oh, we're also going to need these wireless boosters. I don't remember how many of these we need. Oh, get out of there. So let's go ahead and make our first thing that we need. Wireless crafting terminal. Should be able to craft this up now. Do we know how to make ender pearl dust? The pearl dust we do. Okay. Was just curious. Funny enough, we don't know how to make ender pearls, even though we have a bajillion ender pearls stacked up right here, but I just have never made one before, so. Alright, we can make our receiver. And then we can make our... this thing here. Why is this dense cell not being accepted? Can we clear the NBT? No? Okay. So let's get a crafting terminal, and then let's get our wireless receiver. I'm just getting them manually because I don't think it wanted to. Oh, now it's doing it, but then it kicked out our dense cell. Very annoying. Just give me the dang wireless terminal. Thank you. Okay, wireless crafting terminal. Boom. Now, whenever we open this, Device is not linked. Yeah, exactly what I wanted to see. Let's put that in a machine to charge it up, but we need to also make a wireless access point, and that's going to be where it transmits the signal out to actually get us into our network. So another Luix Pearl later. Waiting for the pearl. There we go. Whoops, what did I just request to be crafted here? I'm slightly confused. What are we crafting? So this, and then this. It must have been crafting the cable, and I just couldn't see that we didn't have enough. Alright, so here's our wireless access point. How are our channels doing over here? Let me get my network visualizer. So this is this P2P right here. We have 10 channels coming up here. So realistically, we could just like toss it up here and it won't be an issue. Here, I'm gonna toss it on the back because there's slightly less stuff happening back here. All right, and then we have a range of 20 meters right now. First of all, I need to take my wireless terminal, which I have managed to lose already. Terminal. Oh, never mind. I put it to charge. I totally forgot. Good job, me. Go ahead and... wait. How do you link it, though? Do we have to use something? I think we have to use something called security station or something. ME security terminal? Yeah, I think we need this guy. Alright, let me craft this up really quick. It'll take a second because there's a 16K storage in it. However, we know what we can do with this, right? We can speed these guys up. They all have batteries in it, right? Oh, these two on the left don't actually have batteries. I hope they don't need them. Just doing the recursive craft for the 16K. It shouldn't take too long here. Are we doing laser engraving? We are not. Okay, so at least we're not doing the super long stuff. Alright, there's our security terminal ready to craft. I don't think this uses a channel. Give it a second to see if it even takes... Oh, it does use a channel. Okay, well. So we put the wireless terminal in here, and it is now linked. And then we don't need the security terminal anymore. Bye-bye. The station cannot be located. Never mind, we still need the security terminal. Oops. Let me put it back up. I'll put it up here because it's kind of large and slightly unruly. Okay. So it should be linked up again. Let's put it there. And now can we open our terminal? Yay, we can open our terminal. And look at that. We can get access from anywhere. There's kind of like a big lag when we do it, though. Like it lags when we open this up. We can also put an access card in here. I think we can put something called... we can put a magnet card. Basically, whenever we pick stuff up, it'll go into the terminal automatically. Wireless card. Yeah, that's the only option we have is the magnet card. I remember in other mod packs they had like an infinity range card that also worked across dimensions, so that would be nice, but we can't get that. Anyways, as you saw here, wireless out of range, we actually only have a range of 20. So, in order to fix that, we need to make range extenders, I think they're called. Wireless booster is what they're called. Okay. Let's go ahead and auto-craft a bunch of these guys. Do we know how to make fine titanium wires? I don't think I've seen this in another recipe, and I'm kind of... Never mind, we're going to need to have those automated. Okay, fine titanium. Wire mill. What else do we need automated here? Fluix pearls, we have vibrant crystals. Okay, so we will need to automate one of these guys. I can go ahead and just auto-craft that. It's fine. Vibrant alloy nugget, we can auto-craft those. Is fine. And then vibrant alloy, hydrogen plus energetic alloy and ender pearl dust in an EBF fluid. EBF. I think we actually need to, yeah, go get a pattern expansion card for that boy now. Uh-oh, calculation processors are missing. Oh boy, a rabbit hole of we need stuff now. Calculation processor. We don't know how to make those at all, so let me make the recipe for these first. That goes in the assembler. Then we need to learn how to make the printed circuits. That doesn't need the Skystone lens, and that goes in our engraver. And then we need the pure Certus. So to make this, okay, so one of these recipes is kind of messed up. I think it's, can I turn advanced tooltips on really quick? Whoops. What is going on here? I'm like pressing E and it's... Oh, I see. When we press E, it opens the wireless crafting terminal, but it's also trying to open our bag. Let me just go and unbind that really quick. Open close inventory. Open wireless crafting terminal. Yeah, I'm just gonna clear that. It's supposed to be left shift plus E. For now, I'm just gonna have it on unbound, and then I'll just manually pull the terminal up when I want to pull it up. Anyways, we were doing Certus quartz. So I remember one of these was like janky and broken, but I don't remember which one it was. Because they're both Progress 2. They're both item applied energistics 2 crystal underscore seed Certus. They're both metadata 1 out of 1800. Yeah, so I remember one of these recipes not working. I think it was the one with 2500 water. So I think this is the one that actually works here. So let's use that recipe. And we're going to go ahead and put that in our phytogenic insulator and give it a test. Pure Certus quartz crystal. Oh yeah, we don't know how to make the sand. That's right. All right, try it again. See, we definitely know how to make the sand now, right? Like we can definitely make the seed. Like we just made the seed there, right? And it still doesn't know how to do the recipe here. Let's try the other recipe then. Go ahead and turn off advanced tooltips because we don't need them at this point. So let's try the 2500 water recipe instead. Still doesn't work. Okay. Well, that's cool. I think what we need to do then is we need to manually put this quartz seed in there. The one that we craft. And then, well, I needed to put it in my pattern first. So take the one we craft and put it in there. And I think this should work now unless it's the broken recipe. So let's try now. Yeah, see? Not working. Does it work if we put an extra 500 water in there? Oh, not knacker. Get some water. There we go. Yeah, and that leaves 500 water left over. Okay, so let me break that to get the water out. Make sure it's still set correctly. Okay, everything's still set as it should be. So yeah, it's this works, but we need to put the 3000 recipe in there instead, the 3000 water recipe. Some kind of jankiness, and then we put our specific Certus quartz seed in there, and that should work now. Craft another one of these guys. Yep, okay, cool. All right, now we can go ahead. What were we even using this for? I don't even remember. Wireless? Something wireless booster? Oh yeah, we needed pattern expansion card. Kind of a lot of things in here if you hadn't noticed now. Because this is the terminal we can see our blank patterns in. Let's just have our system handcraft, or not handcraft, like stock up a handful of those as well. Okay, so pattern expansion card now. Let's go put that in our EBF interface, this one, the fluid one. All right, and now we can cook those, and we also need the energized alloy. We don't know how to make those either. So energetic alloy, that's a simple recipe. EBF fluid. All right. And now we should be able to make boosters. So I think booster is limited to stack up to 16. So let me try to make like 18 of them, because they're made in twos, right? And then let's see if those actually work, but I think they're limited to 16, so... Alright, let's go grab our time in a bottle and help out some of these processes here. Don't think we need the laser engraver for anything, so we can just go help anywhere else that is running. I accidentally sped up the dense cable here. Good job, me. Doesn't do anything, but it's funny regardless. Oh, clipboard is going a little crazy there. We are mixing over here. Oh, this is a slow recipe. There we go. The Fluix pearls are kind of slow. Alright. All done, actually. The Fluix pearls were the bottleneck. Okay, so these do stack. So every one we add increases our meters by 1, but it increases the power by a whole lot. Okay, this is now costing 200 EU per tick just for this wireless access point. Maybe let's not go too crazy right out of the gate then. Let's do like a range of 32 for 100 EU per tick seems fine, and later we'll just we'll add more there. Why are these chests here actually? I was just looking at these and I was like, huh, chests. Where's my axes in my tool belt here? Is it my inventory? It is in my inventory. Let me put that in there and then put this here, and axe is a tool I can keep in that tool bag. I was testing integrated tunnels over there with those chests, but I forgot to come back and clean them up. Anyways, now that we have the wireless access terminal, I'm going to put our ender pouches away, but I'm still going to keep them on me in case we need like further than this can reach, which is, if you didn't notice, is not very far. So also this has a limited battery time, so every second we have this open it's draining power, and then whenever I take stuff out it's draining power. So it's not the best solution, but it is gonna be nice to not have to run around so much. We can just pop this open, get what we need, and get out of there. I think I'd also like a view cell for here probably. So let's make a view cell like this one here. Gonna just pop this in my cell workbench, and I'm going to tell it to save that. So now if we put another view cell in that, it's gonna apply what we just put in there. And view cell is just one of these guys. Easy recipe. Throw that up here. Now this view cell is configured. And if we go in our wireless crafting terminal and we search for drop and we search for pattern, we have all of these up here, which are kind of like we don't really want or need to be able to interact with them in our wireless terminal. So we put our view cell in here. Boom. Pretty nice, right? Hold on, though. Did we how did... Hold on a second. Wait. How is this getting... Because this is set to... There's supposed to be an inversion and fuzzy card in here. How did this get inversion and fuzzy on it? Oh, that's the thing. It didn't. Okay, I didn't even actually look to see what it filtered to. So we need a inverted filter, inverter card. And we need a fuzzy. I was like, hang on, I feel like we're missing something here. And indeed we were. Alright, let's get our view cell again. And throw our view cell back in here. Throw the 2 cards in there. Now it should work as we want. Okay, so drop or encoded pattern. And throw this in here, and all of the drops and patterns should disappear. Nice. Okay, perfect. Now we don't have a bunch of stuff cluttering our view that we don't ever really need to see in there. Also, our health's a little low. Let me, how about I just grab out of here. Grab some healing fragments really quick. Just get some regen. I don't want to, like, die from fall damage out of nowhere or something. Something dumb. Alright, wireless boosters we're going to put away. Chest we'll put away. Oh, this actually says the number of runes on these. I guess I didn't see that before. Anyways, we are finally ready to go and do our will stuff. Okay, so will is based on chunks, so I'm going to be using this specific chunk right here, I think. I kind of want to keep our blood magic stuff together, and out of all of the chunks in under our altar, this is the one that has the largest share of the altar space. Or wait, maybe it's this one. Yeah, technically it's this one because the altar's in this one. So yeah, on second thought, we're going to use this bottom right chunk here. So everything in this area here is what we're going to want to use. Basically, if it's past this line of wires or a little bit past this interface, we don't want to go there. So want to stay within this space here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using... We're also going to need some room for a ritual, so I might dig some space out here really quick. I forget how big the ritual is, so let's go ahead and... I'm going to keep chunk view on for a moment here. Let's get our master ritual stone, and then let's get some ritual stones. I don't think it's 64 stones, but I will just keep those to have those on me. Okay, so we want the ritual of fractured crystal. 44 ritual stones, okay. So we're going to go in... Well, first I'm going to put this ritual somewhere and just take a look at how big it is. Okay, and how do you make the stick? Like shift right click? Okay, so there's our ritual. It is 7 by 7, and then it is 1 block above and 1 block below. Okay, so we're going to be using this. And there's also another ritual that's kind of a counter, like it's countersunk to this ritual, but we're not going to be using that one because instead of using animals is what you normally use in that ritual to kind of speed up the generation of your crystal farming, we're just going to be injecting will with our will injectors. So let's put our demon crucibles over here for now. We're going to need a 7 by 7 space to do our stuff here for the ritual. So let's just carve that out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then carve that out over there. All right, let's take our big drill now, set it to a depth of 3 and hit the middle. And then go back to our small drill, and we can carve out the rest of this by hand. Of course, I would make a hole over there. I'm trying to be so careful. And whatever, just go a little ham here. Okay, and we can fill in the holes. So let's put our ritual in here. The ritual stone goes in the middle, and it floats up 1 in the air. All right, so our ritual is going to fit in this space. And it's gonna, these runes on the top are gonna be even with the floor. So let's go ahead and grab our ritual stones and place it. Do we right click? Oh, we just right click, okay. Keep right clicking, but I needed to get out of the way. All right, there we go, there's our ritual. And then to activate it, we just need to get our activation crystal, which if we remember, we put in storage last time. Wireless out of range, cool. How about over here? Yay. Here's our activated crystal. And we're going to activate this ritual. Rush of energy flows through the ritual. Okay, there we go. Now that is activated. We can keep this here in less common tools. So this is now affecting this space that's above it. And what this is doing specifically is that it's taking crystals that are in this chunk, and anytime those crystals are larger than 1, it is breaking them off and uh, growing them. Also, let me get my cobblestone back there. I actually need it to fill in the top of this hole. We can use our... Where's our one formation wand? That should also be in my toolkit. You saw I went and looked in the correct place, but I did not have the tool I needed there, so... Alright. So there we go. Our ritual is now under the ground over here. And this is going to break off crystals that grow. So now, how do we want to grow the crystals? Well, we're going to be basically using our Tartaric Gem in these demon crucibles, and that's slowly draining it. We saw it had 1024 when we put it in here. Now it's 840. Now it's 730. So yeah, we're just draining the crud out of this crystal, and that's putting will into this chunk. So now, when we put will into this chunk, let me go ahead. Now I can take these crystals. Let me make sure I do not put them in the wrong spot. So now when we place these crystals here, hopefully I'm not making a big mistake, because these crystals are not going to be easy to reobtain. So these crystals should grow as this is injecting will into the chunk. And that's kind of all there is to it. I think I can maybe accelerate this process. I could probably accelerate the crucible. I don't know if I can accelerate the crystallized clusters at all. Yep, there we go. See, I grew a demonic will, and then it immediately spat it out. There, I grew a different kind of will, and it spat that one out. Great. All right, so these are working, although they're kind of working kind of slow, but that's okay, because this doesn't need to be a super fast process. We don't need a bajillion of these, at least not immediately. So there we go, quest complete over there. I need that one. Let's get something to pick our items up with. Where's my magnet? I want to pick up that one over there. Okay, and something to pick up our items with, I mean like an item collector of some kind. So let's go to our wireless terminal. Collector, item collector. Oh, we don't seem to have any actually. What about what did we use before at the sheep farm? We used... I can turn off chunk view now. We used a vacuumulator. Do we still need this vacuumulator over here? Honestly, not really. I'll just take it. Yoink. Alright, let's dump off all of our wool. And alright, now we can put our vacuumulator down here. And I will want something to store these in. Let's just make some drawers really quick. That seems fine. Do we need a drawer controller? Not really. We can just manually put this around with conduits if we wanted to, but let's just put this down here for now and let it start collecting its stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put the vacuumulator directly above here. That's just going to grab the crystals when they pop out. How's our Tartaric Gem? Our Tartaric Gem here is drained, as you would kind of expect. So we can feed these will crystals back into here, but we can also supply a constant supply of will with the injector here. So I can go to our injector, which I have taken down, actually. Let me go ahead and set our injector back up here. Okay, that should be everything I need for that. So let's put our wheel injector. Remember, we are working within the confines of this chunk, so let's put our wheel injector, like, I don't know, back here possibly. I might want to pipe stuff in and out of the injector. We'll put our Enderman soul in there, we'll put our Tartar gem, and we'll put our sword. And then we're just going to power it with the Spectre coil. Alright, so now that is collecting gems again. I'm also going to go ahead and take our Tormented Souls. Soul. What are they called? Will? Yeah, demonic wills. That's what they're called, not tormented souls. And I'm gonna put those in. Never mind. I'm not gonna put those in these crucibles. I thought we could burn those up in the crucibles, but I guess not. Okay, we're just gonna destroy these because we can easily get more if we need, and we do not need more. All right, vacuumulator is gonna take those. I'm gonna get my drawers now, and we are going to. Let's see. Let's auto output on the left, and then, oh, our block is facing a weird way. Where's the crescent hammer? Can we rotate this, like, down? Okay, well, we've rotated it to the left over there. So let's go on the right in the back. Nope, not the, this is the back. Okay. And then we can auto kick stuff out. Excellent. And then we want one more over here. This is actually good because I think this will be like a proper ratio of stuff. Do we have a drawer key? Drawer key. And then key, barrel. I'm going to use a barrel for our other kind of will, because it's only going to be the straight demonic will. Whoops. Lock these guys up. Yep, okay, those are all locked now. So we can save that drawer for something else. Okay, so now we have this process happening here. And as these crystals grow, they will break, they will be picked up by Earth stuff, and then we can use them for things. But we probably want them to be used up more quickly, or to grow more quickly. And in order to do that, we're going to need to basically keep our demonic, our Tartaric gem here going. However, we're going to want to take it out and put it back in. So let's go and use, I think we can use some advanced item filters. Filter from Ender.io. So let's make the advanced item filter. I think we're going to need 2 of them. So what I'm going to do with this, and we're also going to need an item conduit. Me when I forget stuff, but now I can get the stuff out of my inventory as I'm walking away. Aha. What's going on here? I'm just looking. I saw our blood was really low. Probably when we activated the ritual. Okay, that caused a big drop in our blood there. So if I just put this over here and I tell it to extract and then insert over here, what's it going to do? So it will take the gem immediately. Then that's going to complain that it doesn't have a gem, and it's also going to make a demonic will, which don't really want it to do. To be honest, I might need to sort that out. And then how's this gem looking in here? Okay, let me back up here. So we stop taking my gem. We want to extract a gem that is not damaged, so it's going to be at full durability, basically. So I think that should work how we want it to work. That did not work. If you didn't notice, it just pulled the whole thing out there. Okay, let's fully charge our gem. Let me turn this off. Let's fully charge our gem here. I might also end up using integrated dynamics if this is being really annoying. I don't know if we can take our sword out. Let me get a chest and see if we can also take the sword out. chest, not sword. Really quickly, just going to put insert here. What do you extract exactly? Take the filter out. So it does take the sword out too. So, okay, we can use that to take the sword out and repair it if we need to, but we can also take the sword out while the gem is in the crucible? Maybe? I don't know how we're going to do that with item conduits, but this is just, at this point, this is just a proof of concept. All right, let's put those back in there. Otherwise, we're going to be running the crucible on demonic wills, and then we're either going to need to trash these or do something with them, because we can't pipe them into the... Yeah, we can't put them into crucibles, which is kind of annoying. So they're kind of just trash to us. Okay, so that's charging up. Let's use our time in a bottle to speed this up. Energy is not happy about that, but it's still going quickly enough. I can speed up the Spectre Coil as well. Oh, but you know what? The problem with our Spectre Coil is that we don't actually have the power in the Spectre Coil network, so that's a issue of our energy production. Okay, so our gem is charged. Oh my god, the stupid will. Let's put this back in here, and let's say we want to... what is this? Can be damaged. Match NBT? Is that what we want? So now if we put this back in here, it should pull that out. Always active insert. It is not pulling it out. All right, let's see what's going on here. Filter setting. Not damaged. Ignore damage. So I don't know if this counts as damage on this one. Let's just say ignore damage, and then it needs to match NBT. So does it take it now? It does. So it drained a little. Does it take it now, though, because it's drained a little? It is not taking it now. But as soon as it fills up, it should take it again, right? Okay, it's full. Take it. Okay, perfect. And then this demonic will is just sitting in here. Welp. Alright, so now this is going to be dumping the will in that crystal and back into the chunk, which is going into these crystals. These crystals should be absorbing that will. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up that process. Once we have a few more of these crystals, I'll start putting those into the crucibles as well, and then we'll be cruising along with generating will here. Though with how slow this is, I might actually go and do the setup that involves animals, because these are growing rather slow. Like, how much has this drained? This is only drained like 1,000 will, so there's like a lot of will in this chunk, but these crystals are just very slow to grow. So now they're going, and how's our crucible? Crucible is really draining now. Okay. I mean, it's working. Kind of slow, but it is working. I don't know that we need it to be, like, super fast right now, right? Like, we're just gonna be... we're just gonna be using these every here and there for some stuff. Alright, so once this reaches 0, which is it is at 0 now, now we want to say... Now we want to say, extract here with this guy. We can insert here as well. And we want to use this gem matching that NBT. Match NBT. So it should take the 0 Tartark gem and try to put it back in our will injector, but right now our will injector has a demonic will in it, so as soon as we take that out, it should dump that back in there. Please. Please do it. Please. No. Sword, stop making wills. Oh my gosh. Here, take the sword out for a second. Oh, I didn't turn extract on. There we go. Okay, so the only problem is that the sword makes the demonic will while we are in there. So I need a way to get the demonic will out and like probably just into a trash can when the sword is ready to go back in. So I think one way to do that would be with integrated tunnels. But I would need multiple connections to this thing. Let me think of a way how we can do it with this. Let's see. Okay, how about this? We're going to extract this on brown. And let me get some other stuff here. Let me get a detector cover, item detector cover. I don't know if we're going to need an advanced item detector, but let's just get a detector cover. Let's get a crate. And so we can put our detector cover on a crate. So we can put an item detector here. Let me put it on the other side first so we can see what it's doing. So when there's an item in here, I want this to make a redstone signal. Okay, so it's at 15 when there's one item. It's at 15 when there's 0 items. I think we need the advanced item detector cover because right now this is operating on a ratio of the entire chest. So we need the advanced item detector because on the advanced item detector, we can specify minimum items 0, maximum items 1, and hit enter there. So when there is 0 items, it has no redstone signal, and when there is 1 or more items, it has power 15. Okay, that's exactly what we want. Let me move it over to this side now. 0, 1, and let me make a trash can below trash. And I'm going to need another filter. This kind. Slight complication. Well, it's not going to be too bad. Okay, so let's put our trash can. Did I get the trash can? We're going to put our trash can below. We are going to say insert on, let's see, this is extracting on green, so we're going to want to insert on green below. Let me make sure this isn't going to dump the Chartarg gem in there. Down trash can, we're going to insert on a different color for a moment, and I'm going to filter this to insert demonic wills and ignore NBT. So any demonic will should go into the trash can on green. We are going to get a redstone conduit cable. We're going to stick this in here. And I'm going to connect that to the north. We are going to input on red. And then here we are going to connect it to the demon will injector. And we will... I don't know if we actually need an output here, but let's say we are going to require a redstone signal on red. And we will activate when there is a signal. Okay. And then we're still going to need to get the demonic will out of here. This extract. Oh, no, hold on. This still needs to extract on green. This needs to be signal color red. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. This green isn't going to work for our getting the item out of here, though. So let's go up to another side of the block. And we've used brown and green, so let's use extract here blue. And let's move our filter from over here to up here. Hold on. Did you finish the gem? Let me put the gem back in here. Okay, let me, first of all, let's see if it's deleting the will. It is deleting the will because there's an item in this chest. And when there's not an item in that chest, the will should just sit there. Okay, so the will is sitting there. Put the item in the chest. Will is deleted. Okay, so then from this chest, we want to extract, and what are we inserting here on? Insert on green. We can insert on, like, purple. So here we're going to extract on purple. All right, so this should basically fill the gem. Let me go ahead and dump these demonic wills over here. This should fill the gem up. Then when the gem is full, it's going to put it in the demonic crucible. The crucible is going to drain it. Once it's drained, it's going to put it back in this box. And the item being in this box should prompt the will that's in the injector to get thrown out. And then here, what do we use here? We use blue. Okay, so insert on blue. All right, so this should work now. So let's see, it's about to fill up. One more tick. All right, there it goes. It's going to make a will, and then the will is just going to sit there. Perfect. Okay. And then once this drains, we should see it go back into here, and then it's going to delete that one will that's in there. So let's see here. How's our crystal doing anyways? It's doing all right. All right, let me time in a bottle this because this part is kind of slow. All right, and then we can also accelerate this. We can also use a larger crystal here if we want. Can we see the... Yeah, we can see the durability of the gem here. We can see how quickly it's draining right now. Pretty quickly. So it's about to be empty. Okay, it is now basically empty. So why is it not pulling it out? Extract will quality 0. Why are you not pulling that? Is it not actually 0? It is 0. I need you to take the crystal away, sir. Do you need, like, that specific copy of the crystal? Ignore damage. Match metadata. Uh-oh, what if we can't actually take the item out? Or wait, did we not configure this to insert? Oh, we didn't configure that to insert. That's my bad. Okay, so now enable that. There it goes. It went over here. It dumped the will that was in there, and it is now recharging. Awesome. Okay, so the only other thing we're going to need to worry about is keeping the sword repaired or just supplying more swords for it to use. Which I think, why don't we just go make a handful of swords really quick? Actually, I need to step away for a bit, so I will attend to that once I return. Be back shortly. Really quickly, whoops, hit my record button or resume recording button too many times. Really quickly, just stopping up in the nether real quick because I wanted to get a nether star to assist with updating our making that process over there that we have with the sword a little bit more simple to do. I'm just going to set up a mending sword to be auto mending. Apologies in advance for the volume here. Volume spike warning. You know what, because it is so loud, actually, let me just put the volume down just 1 second. There you go, sorry about that. Alright, so I'm just over here killing me a wither. This is with my new enchanted knife, which is pretty good, actually. How's my health doing here, though? Is this my correct knife? This is my Enderium knife, yeah. Alright, let me just back up for a second, because my health looked like it was in trouble there. This feels a little bit weaker than my prior knife I had. Ooh, my health actually is a little low there. Let me go down and let it regenerate a bit. My health is low. It's below 10 hearts. Just regenerate here on the side for a bit. There we go. So not entirely like a horrible fight. Oh no, I've died. I thought my health was still okay. Okay, well this is gonna be an ordeal then actually. Uh-oh. Let's see how I'm gonna handle this. Let's see if we can just run back and get our stuff and keep fighting them. Maybe it's just that easy. I will need some building blocks though, hold on, because I don't have my boots or ability to jump or anything. I think I can also make something called, or not make, but grab something, I think I have it in my system, called an air charm. Air charm, yeah. So this lets me walk in the air, literally. Okay, that should be able to get us up there. Now it's just a case of getting up there and not getting killed, so... We died... Where did we die? Up there. Okay. So, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Just floating in the air here with our air charm. I found it in a dungeon, by the way. I never showed us making it on camera because I never made it. I just found it. In fact, you can't make one. You have to find it in a dungeon. So we're going to have to figure out how to get our body here. I thought our health was good there. I didn't realize we were on our last health bar. Alright. Please don't die because I do not have another air charm. Okay, there we go. Just snuck past him and grabbed our stuff there. Let me get this netherrack out of my inventory. Alright. You're going down now, buddy. How dare you do that to me? That was very rude. Okay. We have taken it out. Here's another star for us. Let's go back to slash home. I thought this sword had a leech on it. It does, but it doesn't seem to be working. Leech is supposed to heal you when you do damage, and yeah, just like was like, nah, I'm not gonna work, buddy. Alright, let's bank our stuff here. I think we got off a little lucky on that. Okay, so I wanted to make a mending book, and for that we need an arcane ensorcellator. Oh. We can't even make this. Well, that was a waste of time then. I thought we could make this arcane ensorcellator to make this enchanted mending book, but if we're not going to be able to make a mending book, let's see, does the enchantment quest say what level mending comes at? It doesn't say what level mending comes at. We could try just some books. Apotheosis. Not Apotheosis, but at Apotheosis, these tomes over here, what do these enchantments do here? So can we get mending on one of these books? We could, but like... Can we get it on the weapon enchantment? Weaponry enchantment. Is mending an option here? Because I did a lot of... Yeah, I did a lot of these, and if I search for mending... We don't have any mending. We have life mending, but we don't have any actual mending, so... Okay, I think we're gonna have to go with the good old, just provide a bunch of sentient swords. So let's just make a bunch of sentient swords. I guess I could also provide sentient bows, but I think swords are... No, the swords are going to be easier here. Okay, so we're going to need petty tartaric gems. Let's just make like... I don't know. Let's just make like 27 of them, enough to fill like a chest, right? So let's get redstone. I'll do 32 actually, because that's half a stack and that's easier to get out of storage than, 27. Just making some extra gold, glass. Get some glass cooking up here. 32 glass, and then lapis is easy. All right, so let's go to our crucible here. Where's our tartaric gem? Is it in here? It is. Okay, so we're just going to make a bunch of these guys. I will speed this up here. And I'm just going to throw these on the floor. Okay, so we got a bunch of these on the floor now. And I do have a chest on me, luckily. Let's put those in there. And then we're going to need a bunch of iron swords. Seem easy enough to make. So let's just get... Are we good on sticks? No. Let's make some sticks. And then iron... We have a few iron swords already, but we are good on iron as well. So let's go ahead and make some iron swords. Ooh, this isn't going to be pretty, is it? Alright, let's see how we do with this many iron swords. Go ahead and magnet them. Just the pile of swords chasing me is kind of funny. Alright, sword plus gem. Oh, geez, I'm going to have to put these gems in here manually. That's going to be annoying. Okay, so there's a sentient sword. Chuck it. Whoops. Sword and gem. Chuck the sword, chuck the sword. Sword and gem. Chuck the gem. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with this on camera. I will be back once I've finished processing through all these swords and gems. So be back in a moment. Actually, why am I doing this manually? Because we can totally use a translocator here with a set of a diamond, or with a diamond regulator on it. Yeah, so we need to regulate one gem and one sword, please. That doesn't work. Okay, cool. Oh, we didn't put the diamond on there. My bad. Now does it work? Still doesn't work. Okay, cool. I guess we would need something like a Greg Tech robot arm then to do that. Okay, let me pick up the translocators really quick. Let me go... Apologies for the ringing. Here, I can just stack these in my bag for a moment. Let's get a crate. Let's get a robot arm. We don't have any, so let me just make an LB one really quick. We're going to take our crate and stick it right here. We are going to wait for our robot arm to craft, but in the meantime, I can put my swords and gems in here. All right, robot arm is done. So we're going to tell the robot arm right here, supply exact, keep exact. So we want to keep exactly one. And I think we need to tell it to keep sword. I think we need a filter to tell it what to keep. So filter. We need to make a filter, just a regular old filter. This is a lot to, have to avoid doing some manual work here, but it's like kind of a lot of manual work. Like it's like 50 million clicks, so I do not mind this. Okay, so sword and a gem. Keep exact. Where's the gem? Oh, it went into my bag. That's right. Okay, so now it's keeping the gem in there? Okay, there we go. So now I just need to throw all of these petty gems out. put them back in this chest. And then we can accelerate this, and then just toss these swords out. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. We need a few more swords. Looks like 9 more swords. So let me go grab those. Where did I get this destructive will also? Magnet too strong? Here, can you go in the item collector, please? Thank you. 9 more swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 1, 8, 9. Alright. I think we're actually going to need 1 more sword because I didn't count one of them. Yep, okay. I didn't count the one that was on the table. 1 more sword. Alright, there we go. Got all of our sentient swords here ready to go. They are... I put them here in my memory card there, because those stack, actually. Wait, what? I left swords and gems over here. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm not going to mess with these extra swords. I don't want to make more gems. We have 32 swords. That should be enough. 32 swords. I could also enchant these, or try to enchant them, with some unbreaking. So let me just, like, get a handful of levels here. And let me just get the swords and see if we can get some enchantments. I'm not going to do high-level enchantments, so let me just do lapis. And let me get some swords. Actually, there's something called an auto-enchanter, right? Maybe we should do that instead. Because I feel like this would be annoying. Enchant. Yeah, this guy. Enchanter. Needs an enchantment table. I suppose we can do that really quick. 2 diamonds, a book, and 4 obsidian. Book. Obsidian. Wait, no, diamonds. My bad. Diamonds. Alright, there we go. Enchantment table done, and then let's get the enchanter using experience, fluid, and energy. Okay, so we will need... I'm just gonna remove this enchantment table. I think it uses these. So we'll need liquid experience for that. I'm just going to... I guess that works, but I was going to actually put this tank here and set it to push. Okay, so that will keep it topped off. We need energy, so let me put a spectre coil on here. I don't know if this blocks access to the bookshelves, hopefully not. And then we just need to pipe our items in there, so I'm gonna be lazy once again and just throw them on the ground and pipe them in. Oh great, I forgot. I had it in my bag. Alright, cool. We got a kind of a low-level enchantment there, but like any enchantment is going to be potentially good if we get what's it called? If we get something like unbreaking. Alright. Wait, where did that sword I just had in there go? Oh, wait, whoa, 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 hold. Mending? We just got mending out of that? Oh, buddy. All of this for... I didn't realize this altar could just give us straight up mending out of thin air. Okay, well, this changes everything. We now have a mending sword. Mending sword. So I also want to take... We had an unbreaking IX in here, unbreaking 9. We don't have an unbreaking X, do we? No. So we have an unbreaking IX. How much is it to put unbreaking IX on this? 20? I will accept, but let me put some of my experience away first, because I don't want to spend 20 levels from 60. So unbreaking X and mending. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little miffed that we didn't just get mending earlier, but you know what? This is good. All right, so now how this is going to work is I'm going to put this in here. And because it's unbreaking, I believe that means it has a 90% chance not to use any durability. So the durability is effectively the durability here is effectively 5,200. But instead of, let me put the coil on this side. Instead of us using making more swords, which now I don't know what I'm going to do with these 28 sentient swords, but I'm going to put this in the back here. And we can pull this out when it's low durability, and then put it in here. When you put a mending item in a tank, it will use the tank experience to replenish itself. So let's design that really quick. We're going to need two more advanced filters, so two of these guys. Actually, I think we only need one more filter. We need a hopper, apparently. Because we need to make one of these first. All right. There's our hopper. There's our filter. There's our advanced filter. So we are going to use another advanced filter. I'm just going to have it on this side. We're going to unconnect that. And we are going to have this extracting our sword. Let me grab our sword. So extract our sword, and we are going to say when it is 25% damaged. Up to 75%? More than 75%? Can we say less than 50%? We don't need to do it super often, so let's do up to 25% damaged. In fact, let's just say for now, to make sure this works, I'm going to say not damaged should do nothing with our sword, right? We can test with our other sword. So not damaged isn't doing anything. Oh, this is not the correct sword, though. This is our correct sword. Oh, this is going to be tricky because I can't test it, right? Not damaged should be pulling, though, so... Okay. So not damaged should pull it in here. We didn't give it a destination. Whoops. Can't help but notice it's not actually pulling the sword out. Is it because it's not damaged? Like, can I not put the... No, I can't put the undamaged sword in here. Okay, well, that makes sense, I guess. Can't put the damaged sword in here either, but, that's fine. Let me just damage the sword normally. So let's speed this guy up and speed up our crystals. How are we doing on crystals anyways? We got like 10 of each. Like, it's not super fast, but it is working, so I'm not mad at it. And if we want, we can make more crystals. Those will absorb the will even faster. So I might do that. I might make like 3 or 4 of each one and just have them over here, and then yeah, we'll be cruising just with this, but I can always pump more will back in there. Okay, so we have our sword in here. So instead of saying damaged, let's just say damaged at all. So as soon as it gets damaged, it should take it away and repair it. I would like to see this happen, though, just to make sure it's working. Because I don't want to lose the sword because it breaks because the filter is not set up correctly. Let me also temporarily take the insert off of there because I want to make sure it's damaged. Speed this up a bit. There we go. Okay, so it is damaged now. So if we insert it, it should take it and repair it and put it back. Perfect. Okay, so now we can say here, let's just repair it when it is more than 75% damage. Okay, that sounds good to me. All right, so that's basically set, and it doesn't use very much experience, and if it cannot repair, it's just going to get stuck in here if it runs out of experience. So we are like set over here. Excellent. Okay, so this is automated. Our sword's never going to break, and we're just going to get will forever. And also, if we want, I need a better item collector. This one is too weak. Do we have a hopper hawk? We do have a hopper hop, and it is floating, so that's perfect, actually. Here, I'm gonna, break this buddy and put that up there. And that should now reach that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take one of these. That did not last very long. Okay. So I'm putting the will into the chunk, but it's like instantly devouring the will, so. This type of will is actually coming from, this type of will comes from the Tartaric gem that we're injecting with, so that's why that one's not instantly going away. But the other types of will, we don't have any of those wills. One curiosity I do want to check, and I'm just going to test this with a spawn version, but I just want to check if we have a Tartaric gem of a different kind of will, can we refill that with the will injector here. So I'm just going to really quickly spawn one. We can't craft these anyways. There's no way to craft this item. So I'm going to spawn this Petty Tartaric gem, stick it in here. Okay, so that's drained. If we put this into here, do you charge? Demon will type not match. Okay, so that's what I thought. Delete that item. How do we make it match the demon will, though? Is there a different kind of sentient weapon we can make to match the demon will? That will be something to figure out next time. For now, that's enough for this episode. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Goodbye. And quick little bonus content. I did end up getting a bigger Tartaric gem because I needed it to craft these clusters. And I expanded our cluster array here a little bit. So now we have 4 of each cluster, and then we have 1 extra of the regular demon will. And yeah, that's all we need here. So we are ready to go on these. These are going to stock up between episodes, and then next time we'll use what we needed. We will use these for the whole reason that we got them, which is the red ones for some Runes of Sacrifice, the green ones for, I don't even know. Let's see, will. What are the green ones used for? Not entirely sure. They're not used for anything. Probably. The yellow ones are used for void metal. Okay, that's good to know. The red ones we already looked at. And then the blue ones are used for primordial pearls, which we currently don't have a need for, but in the future when we do. And of course the regular ones we saw are used for, what did we need this for? The terrestrial agglomeration plate. And I also forgot, the red one is also used for the Vengeful Eye, which we need to make the LP focus node. So yeah, we got a few things we needed out of this. Catch you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Oh, and bonus content too. I did, in fact, upgrade the gems that are in this crucible to greater, and then I also made a second one. So while this gem is in the crucible, draining its will, there can be a second one in the loop that is over here charging up. And that way, there's no downtime on the what's it called over here? The demon will injector. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.